Hello, everyone. Today, we're gonna get another podcast going, but today I have a guest with me again.
Hello.
Yes, this is Klein, as I'll be calling him in this. So,
You just call me Ghost.
alright, Ghost. We will. Well, we're just gonna be talking here. Minecraft is just gonna be the background for this today, so.
Of course, yes. It is going to be our background. We're just going to talk about some certain things.
Alright.
So, shall we get started?
Alright, so I suppose, what would you like to talk about first, since, well, you wanted to do this?
There's so many topics out there I want to talk about, but I kind of want to start with fighting games, because, man, like, you gotta, like, know that, like, there's a lot of certain fighting games out there that, like, catch my eye a lot,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, like, you ever play well, it's not like you ever play, but, like, I want to play these certain games, like Street Fighter 5, and then Street Fighter 4. I like old school games, you know?
Yeah.
Like, more of that type of the fighting genre.
Yeah, because like right before we hopped on the podcast, when you're saying, "All right, I'm ready," I was just finishing up a set in Mortal Kombat 11, and that's a game I really don't like playing competitively. It's just something I like to screw around with from time to time. And the only reason I'm doing it is just to get a costume at the end of the day. So it's a fighting game I don't see myself going back to too often, is the thing.
I don't see myself going back to, like, any else fighting games. Like, I've seen a lot on YouTube, and, like, some of them, like, catch my eye, like Guilty Gear. That looks really nice, and it looks very fun to play, but it looks complicated at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, there would be those complicated games. I'm like, okay, what will I play? You know?
Yeah. With Guilty Gear being developed by the same company, Arxis, it probably has more characters that you can experiment with being difficult to use, or probably easy to use, hard to master type of deal. But
Yeah.
they're developed by the same company, so at the end of the day, it might just be stylized preference. Because I've never played it, I've given thought to, but money's an issue for me, so I can't really do that.
I'm the only one in this group has a job.
I've had the job before. It's just that my job is a summer job, and that job we couldn't do this year because of the whole, COVID-19 thing. And
Well, we can't say we can't say COVID. We have to say that.
now we can. It's just like I'm not monetized, so it doesn't really matter for me. It's just like
Okay.
we can't go around suggesting like stupid stuff that might work or something like that, or saying we have a cure or anything, or we can't be bad mouthing the World Health Organization, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting like back onto the topic of fighting games, the ones that I guess, Ghost, what are some of the fighting games you play the most besides Dragon Ball FighterZ? Because I already know you play that a lot.
Well, yeah. I can see. That's a tough one because I don't know. Cause, like, Fighters is actually one of my personal favorites. Because I love the game style and like the 3v3 like tag team. What's called game style. It's like.
Mm-hmm.
It's put in a way, it's like Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, but like it's more of like the show itself, you know.
It's a bit more balanced, I would say, because with I played Ultimate Marvel 3, and it has like the same 3 versus 3 gameplay style. It's just that it gets kind of annoying because it doesn't reset it to neutral when a player's character's KO'd. You just keep going back and forth so the other character can be allowed to set up, which can be kind of annoying.
It can. I can relate that. I do remember playing like some other types of fighting games besides Fighters. I'm gonna go way back. I used to play Mortal Kombat 9 on the Xbox 360. That was my childhood. I literally had that game, and my older brother and I, him and I would just like literally play the crap out of that game. And I remember it was so frustrating because we couldn't beat Shao Kahn in the last, the towers.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, and then like it was in the story mode as well. We couldn't beat him, so we gave up. And then all we do is just do the fatalities, and pretty much that's it. I mean, I did play like the original Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Like it was on the Game Boy version.
Oh.
I believe, yeah, because it was the classic one. Judge me or not, I can't really.
Yeah,
not like.
I played the original one because I had like one of those plug-in TV versions of the game. So it was like a quote unquote bad. It was like playing the original game. It wasn't bad or anything. It was just like annoying.
Yeah, it was straight up annoying. I think like I was so ready for like to get into more fighting games. I mean, until now, like I stopped playing fighting games for a reason because like there was so many other games I want to play. Like again, like whatever catches my attention, I'm gonna play it. You know?
Yeah, I could definitely see that because I do that as well at times. I won't deny because after Code Vein, I've just been asking around in our little group like, hey, what do you think I should play next? And I've just been throwing out suggestions. Like everyone's like, we don't know.
I kind of would recommend some games that I used to play in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know you're not a fan of like first-person shooters or anything. And you're more of like the fighting games and like fantasies as well.
Yeah.
I would recommend Bioshock because I'm currently playing that right now. Like I beaten the first one. The first was really fun. But it was kind of a little bit annoying here and there because of the mechanics. But I still enjoyed it. And I think I'm gonna do a rerun on it because I'm gonna freaking get the good ending because like you can get a bad ending and there's the good ending as well.
Yeah.
So like I got the bad ending, so I was like, crap, I need to do it again.
Yeah, like I've seen that before for like certain games, like Code Vein again for another example, is a game that can have a good, has a true, neutral, and bad ending. I just absolutely refuse to get the bad ending because I do not like depression and all that. So. Like very few games I actually play though have like a bad or good ending, and some of them that do, I just go for the true ending or the good ending because unless you want to just fill out all the content, no one's really gonna go for like a bad ending in my opinion.
True.
They might get it unintentionally or something along those lines, but I don't think they would try to go for it on purpose.
Yeah,
unless it's for completionist.
Here's the thing, like, there's many games out there that I still want to try and still want to get to play. I did, like, play, I'm still playing the Bioshock series, and then,
hello.
Oh, it's the Muffin Man.
Hello, Ethan.
No. You just joined at the right time.
Cool, because I'm on a walk right now.
Alright. Well, I guess since we're on the topic of games that others would like considered playing, since at the time of this recording, me and Ethan have done 2 parts playing through Code Vein, and, well, Ethan's died a lot. We'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
We were wondering like what types of games would be good for people to play for like a bit more of the casual side. Nothing like too hardcore that's super like restrictive, just something that people would casually get into.
Yes.
I'm asking for your opinion. Like what do you think is like what's a good casual game that people can get into?
I don't play very many casual games.
Okay, well, what's something you could suggest that maybe people can at least give a try to?
No, that's a hard choice.
Really? Well,
Because I'm pretty sure some of the games people probably would or would not have,
well,
and had already played it probably.
alright then, well, Ghost, what do you think is a kind of a fun casual game that people can kind of get into?
Fun casual game. I'm more of a multiplayer and single player game type. I would probably recommend Infamous Second Son on the PS4. Dude, that game is freaking fun. Like, it's casual and it's a little bit fun to play, you know, if you want to like go solo and just do something by yourself, you know. And like, I played that game at my mom's place, and we were, it was fun. I got to beat it, and then I got the good ending as well. I was like, it was really cool. And plus, like, you can do a bad ending, like you can turn evil, and like kill dogs. Well, yeah, basically, and then like either be evil or be good, you know. And yeah, it was a mind blowing game. It was super fun.
Well, if I could.
Sorry, go ahead.
If I'm being honest, either myself, like, there's not a whole lot of, I guess, casual games that I could say that people could try to get into if they're looking just to have fun. Because most of the ones I play are RPG based, obviously, or fighting game. But if I want to suggest like one that's real that I personally enjoyed that kind of got me at least a little bit into shooters, even though I don't play them all that often, it's the Mass Effect series. And well, it's mainly due to the fact that it has some RPG elements, the fact that you could customize your character to look like it, to look like you, or look like however you want to choose. You can either be good or you can be a massive a-hole, because I can't cuss because we try to keep it a good Christian channel here. But yeah, I would say that's another game that's a fairly easy game that people can get into. It has multiple difficulties, everything. It's like, it's kind of a good game that everyone can play, in my opinion.
For sure, I can get into like a lot. Again, I would play any game that would again catch my eye. If there was any good games like first-person shooter or fantasy, then I'm down to play it. It's like, again, I've been watching a lot of things on YouTube, and I'm like, man, I want to like play this game so badly, you know. But I just don't have the right system or console for it yet.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
Or you don't have the money for it.
Oh, okay, yes, Mr. Mustard. God, I can't fucking speak.
You could say his name because I already have on the channel. It's just like no one knows what he looks like is the thing. So
yeah.
The only reason I have people not say my name is because, well, that'd be a problem for me.
But yeah, they oh man. Let's see what. Okay, so back to like fighting games.
Back to the fighting games, yes.
I suck at playing games.
I'm gonna just talk straight out about Dragon Balls. Now, UI is unfair. He's literally
Alright, we're already jumping into the controversy.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay, so just hear me out. Like, literally, I'm not being mean. Like, UI is a great character for good reasons, but like, man, you need to like understand like there is.
I could definitely see UI Goku being highly unbalanced. Someone suggested to me the other day is like, people thought they made Jiren and Beerus far too underpowered, so they made UI Goku as strong as he is, but they overcompensated for it.
Oh, that's not even true. It's literally like UI has the like. I'm just gonna say this straight out. His 2H is so freaking broken. Cause like, no matter what, like if you vanish right in front of him, you're still gonna get hit, and it's still like an odd chance.
I would say that the thing about him that would be considered the most broken would probably, some people say maybe his auto combo, his damage for one thing. Like
his auto combos are the worst.
Well, yeah, like just the standing punch, his standing light is enough to stop most attacks. If we're gonna go on the, even though I use UI Goku, I don't do any of like the really big hard hitting combos because A, I don't practice them enough, and B, they don't take that much effort. It just seems highly unfair.
I just think for myself because like it's kind of like I play UI, and don't get me wrong, UI is such a great character for my team, because like I like to like pick out like any character and see who I can be like practicing with more instead of like what's it called, not using them, and that's why I got into like Piccolo.
Yeah,
Piccolo is such a great damn character for like for my like my either mid or like
as your starter, your mid, or as your anchor. You're not sure.
Yeah, my anchor. He's mostly my anchor because like I use Demon Shocker, his B assist, because one, it's super good because like if I'm playing Vegeta Blue and like or Vegeta, like I would either like use Piccolo's A assist or B assist, because like I will go on and off with his assist, which is good because like if I want to play Vegeta Super Saiyan, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna use these characters today,
Yeah.
and then get practicing. DVC Broly, man, he needs some buff or nerfs.
Yeah, like there's a lot of characters I would say that are too good to use because personally, yeah, I would say UI Goku is really hard to use. Not hard to use, I should say. He's real easy to use, and the damage he outputs is too great. Make him do a little less. Make some of his frame data, I would believe, slower, to where you can't just do all this crazy damage off. Essentially, it's just like one touch. Because that's the problem with UI and some of the characters that people consider vastly overpowered. Getting like one touch with them can kind of lead to most of your health bar being depleted very easily.
It's just not like I can understand that, and like yeah, but it's like people just don't like. I'm not saying like they don't know how to play the game or anything, but like if you ever come across those people like just spamming like the auto combo, then it's annoying because like I just sit there, I'm like, why even bother fighting this dude, Like I'd rather be fighting someone else. I can
see that. Ethan unfortunately doesn't have that much expertise in this area because
play the game.
He doesn't play the game as often, and B, he said it himself, he's not very good at it.
Well, yeah.
But
I cannot play right.
Yeah, and I could definitely see like some characters being a problem, but it's also kind of the other thing. Like I think people would be more upset if UI Goku was not overpowered, but people are probably expecting him to be hard to use this thing. They were probably expecting him to be along the lines of a character who would come out later, being Master Roshi. Master Roshi is pretty hard to use, and making it.
He's very hard because like he doesn't have a super dash, and like his dash is just more of like a Kamehameha, like forward, like you have to like again, it's like an angle you have to do. You have to like get a certain angle if you want to like super dash up.
Ethan, are you talking to someone else right now?
Yeah, I think he was talking to his mom.
Okay, Yeah, like people are expecting UI Goku to be along those lines. Someone who was hard to use and hard to master, but would pay off with like big damage, kind of like something along the lines of Hit, who is someone that is very hard to use and is more on the technical side of the fighters along the cast.
You know what? Something else that bothers me a lot, like, it bothers me that like I've been seeing a lot of people, like, I'm talking about like a lot of not big people, but like
the top players and the main
top players, like the top pro players who play fighters constantly, you know.
Yeah.
Like Cloud 805, Hook Gang, Datoy, or whoever, you know. And like, the thing that bothers me, like, everyone's just complaining about this, and like, which, yes, it is unfair, but you know, at the same time, don't
like what can you do? Like, what can you do about it?
Yeah, what can you do about it? Because like, everyone's just gonna keep spamming the auto combo, or like do more heavy hits, like you said, you know.
Well, I do believe you're generalizing a little bit there, but yeah, I could definitely see that being a problem. With like some people saying like he's too good, like this character needs to be nerfed. But the problem is, like with Arxis, some of the time is that if a character's good, they kind of nerf them into the ground.
Oh yeah, they do.
Like for example, this was a while ago and still kind of is a problem now with Super Saiyan Goku. He's a base character who's very, very good, and his down medium was something that people really relied on. And it was one of the fastest in the game. However, Arxis thought it was too good, and they essentially like broke his leg, and it's like, no, it's too good. Now it's one of the slowest in the game.
It was I can't believe they even did that.
They thought it was necessary, but then people was like, no, you made him worse, like objectively worse. But people were like, they kind of fixed him, but he's still somewhat bad now. Is the thing.
Which sucks, because like, because I used to play with him a lot. Like, now I can see like everyone's just saying it's bad, and of course it's gonna be bad because what can everyone do? Arx has to like, or Bandai has to like nerf these characters in order to like make a fair balance out of it.
Which, yeah, it's the point. But I feel like we're focusing too much on the fighters and the UI Goku aspect of this, I suppose, fighting game podcast. So,
yeah.
Ghost, what's a fighting game, like, besides, like, the Street Fighter series you said, make another game you really kind of want to get into? What would be, like, another one? Or Ethan, for example, what's another fighting game you would like to get into? If you can get the chance to. Like, there's fighting games that are for everyone. There's some fighting games that are a bit on the technical side. It's like, what do you think is a good fighting game that casual people can get into?
Well, let's see. Well, Mortal Kombat can be a good casual game because, like, it's...
You're still there? You cut off there. And Ethan, I can't hear you. You might have to disconnect here and there because I can't hear you.
You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you, yeah. You just, like, went quiet there for a second.
Oh.
So, that's what... There you go. Talk, Ethan?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, that are probably just in a bad area.
Yeah, we were asking, like, what's a good casual fighting game that some people can try to get into?
Well, I'm not really a fighting person because later on when I try to play it, there's always gonna be that one person that's better than me.
Yeah, I can kind of see that being a problem. I won't deny it because I've been there, but... Alright then. Ghost, what's a fighting game that you think people could get into? You said it was Mortal Kombat, correct, for you?
Well, yeah. It's just, again, it's more of like a casual game, more than like the competitive side. You know, like I never know because like I haven't watched too much of Mortal Kombat 11 because like 11 was. It's just not that like it's good or anything. It's just more of like a how to put it, like it's more of like a.
It's more of like a waiting game.
Yeah, it's more of like a waiting game more than like you want to actually get in and fight someone. You know?
Yeah, I can.
There's only 2 Mortal Kombat games that I played. I think it was the Mortal Kombat one that I mentioned like a couple months ago to you, like Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I believe.
Okay.
And I also played the Marvel's. No, it wasn't that. It was a Mortal Kombat vs DC.
Which, in of itself, I have played. It's not that bad competitively, or I wouldn't say it's like a bad game. It's just like people really didn't like the story and the fact that you couldn't just murder Superman or Batman. And I think that's what a lot of people didn't like about the game. Like you just couldn't murder DC's characters, which they ended up doing later.
Mortal Kombat. I don't know why they shouldn't.
It's yeah, I know, but at the time I could kind of understand, but DC ended up doing that later anyways by killing, and Marvel to an extent, just killing everyone. Because they do that. Alright, so if I want to suggest a fairly easy fighting game that people can get into. Who has my echo on? Because I'm hearing my echo in the background.
I think it's Ethan.
Yep. A fighting game that I feel like people can get into fairly easily is, in fact, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Well, of course, it's literally like the easiest thing you can learn, but like,
yeah.
the only thing that people can learn would be like, again, probably doing auto combos or learning
very basic combos.
Yeah, cause like, okay, I'm sorry for going back to the topic, but like for me, when I was playing fighters, like from the very start, like when the beta came out for the Switch version, I put a lot of time in for fighters. Like I would sit down and like do combos and try to like master them down and learn them by heart, and not like watch any. Well, like until now, I would watch the YouTube videos and see how I can extend my combos more. You know, by again going on YouTube and seeing what kind of combos I can come up with without trying the hard ones. You know.
I could see that,
like,
yes.
Because like you can see, like there is a lot of hard ones you can do and get more damage out of it, but it's kind of like hard to do it because you have to like go by frame, you know?
Yeah, and like
basically timing.
Yeah, and if we're talking about really difficult fighting games that you probably should have gotten to very early, like before it got really crazy, I would say Tekken is another series that is a bit on the harder side when it comes to fighting games.
Yeah, I can agree because I did touch Tekken like here and there. Like it bothered me because like I didn't really know what the hell I was playing. I was like, wait, what is this? Because like yeah, there's a lot of moves. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I did not hear what he said, but
He said go ahead.
But there is a lot of hard combos and moves you have to do, and like the controls are kind of, I'm not saying they're kind of funky, but they are a little bit, you know, because like I'm always curious. I'm like, okay, like that's
If I was if I was to give like Tekken kind of like I would say Tekken is like the closest thing to a quote unquote realistic fighting game. Not realistic in the way of like people, you know, channeling lightning through their hands and doing like 360s on their legs and uppercutting people into oblivion and turning to devils. When I say realistic, it's like you have to be very patient, and you have to be very patient how you execute your combos. You're gonna have to look for very generous openings, and you're gonna have to wait for people. Realistically, people would block in the middle of a combo because like, oh, they're hitting me, I should stop them by blocking. Like, that's how it would actually happen. rather than in other fighting games where they just kind of let you wail on them as long as you get in one opening and bam, that's it.
Yeah, for sure. And I get that, because, like, it's a little bit harder that we, like, it's harder because, like, we have to learn the game, and we have to learn the combos, you know?
Yeah, and therefore, I'd say Tekken's a much harder game to get into, but I would definitely say it feels much more rewarding when you pull off those really big and impressive combos in Tekken, in comparison to fighters where you misclick one thing, or the openings, and then bam, you're dead. In some cases. But,
yeah.
Alright, let's move on to, I guess, like another genre of fighting game that really is kind of looked down upon by the fighting game community as a whole, and those being arena fighters.
Arena? Can you explain what's arena fighters?
Oh. Well, arena fighters, this is a genre of game that's usually reserved for anime. For example, Jump Force, the Naruto Ninja Storm series.
Yeah.
Those games are arena fighters because, like, you're enclosed to a big arena and you are to fight your opponent. But they are usually very simple in execution. There's usually one attack button, a charge button, maybe a projectile button, somethings like that. But I wouldn't say that they're super difficult to execute or finish. Because, well, you just play the strongest characters, and the strongest characters are the strongest characters, so they do the most damage. They have the most versatility. For example, in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, character Naruto in his stage mode, Pain, Sasuke, those are some of the most powerful characters in the game. And I believe Itachi in, like, Ninja Storm 4 has an infinite, or a bunch of characters do that's fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
So, those are the games that get a very bad rap.
Yeah. I do want to say, what was it? Jump Force? Man, like, I remember the first time it showed the trailer, like, I gotta say, it looked really bad.
Yeah,
like,
people said it looked way too realistic, and that's kind of the problem with Jump Force. Jump Force looks way too realistic of a game to be, well, an actual fighter in the sense. Like,
yeah,
it's
like,
too real looking.
It looks like it looks like a game where, like, it's too flashy and, like, it will, like, literally hurt your eyes, and it's a no joke thing. Like, I just didn't, like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, no, this is not gonna happen, because, like, it's not, it doesn't look good. It's not.
Here's the thing, we're not even talking about balancing or how the gameplay actually plays. We're just talking about it visually. Now, there are some things that do look visually good. Like, it's like, hey, do you ever want... The only characters I kind of care about, like, being Naruto and Dragon Ball Z with a bit of My Hero. It's like, hey, do you ever want to see how the Kamehameha looks like in 3D? I'm like, oh, it kind of looks good. Like, if I'm being honest, the super attacks in this game do look pretty good, especially for some of the DLC characters that have come out. Like, at the time of this recording, the most recent ones for Jump Force, I believe, are Gyarno and Yoruichi. Those are the two most recent DLC characters, and apparently people are having a lot of fun playing them, but, well, you still don't see people talking about Jump Force all that often.
Yeah, it's not like anyone's gonna talk about the game. It's more of like this game is just like, I wanna, like, see it, like, if it was, like, really good, and, like, if it wasn't like that, then I would play it. But then, like, at the same time, like, I just didn't want to, like, get into it because, like,
do you think
it's too bad enough.
Do you think if Jump Force was a 2D or like a 2.5, something similar to, can't believe we're going back to this, like Fighters, maybe Street Fighter, or maybe Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, do you think it would gotten like a lot more attention and a lot more people would like it?
I think from your opinion, if they would go to like that kind of certain, like if they did that certain way, then yeah, I will guarantee that people will talk about it, and you know,
people just would really like the game. It'd be like one of the quote unquote best selling games of all time. It'd be really impressive and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, if they're impressed, if they show their true colors and like tell us this game's gonna be good or not, you know. But yeah, I think Jump Force, like, they should never made it in the first place. Like, I don't know, if they took the time in delivery and took the time actually and show us what they can do and make the game look better instead of looking like a 3D model game, then like we will be able to talk about it and play it, you know?
I feel like that was a bit of a hot take there, but what you're saying is like, would you prefer to be like, there was another game that came out years ago, I can't like jump like Anime All Stars something, I don't know the name and I apologize. Like the Anime All Stars type of game where it was like pseudo realistic, but it still had like that anime style to it.
Mm-hmm.
So well, I guess what would you prefer it as? Would you prefer?
Are you talking about the mobile game?
No, we're talking about Jump Force, the that realistic looking fighting game.
I know, but you said something about earlier, All Star.
Because
the game on mobile is called King of Fighters All Star.
No, we're not talking. We're not talking about King of Fighters. We were talking about like the anime. Like there was another game before Jump Force that had like a spin-off. That it wasn't a spin-off, but it had like all the major, like the very big anime characters like from the series, like Naruto. I believe Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm not sure if Hunter x Hunter was out at the time, but like a lot of the big characters like Dragon Ball, stuff like that. It was I'm not sure if it was ever released in America. I'm not sure if it was, is the thing. I could be entirely wrong. So that's why I was asking Ghost, like, hey, would you prefer something like that?
If I would, yeah, I would prefer that over a 3D game, you know.
I guess that can work in some ways. Just kind of. Well, I guess I could talk about this one. I recently bought an Arena Fighter, and it was on sale on my Switch. I was like, huh. I heard about this game when it came out. I didn't hear much afterwards, but I'm like, you know what? Let me play it, because why the heck not? Being Kill la Kill, the game, the Arena Fighter.
Oh yeah, I heard of that. Yeah,
I'm playing it right now. It's like, it's okay. It's not like the worst thing I've ever played, but it's an alright game. Like it plays like your typical arena fighter with unfair advantages from time to time, but it's okay. It's not, again, not the worst thing. But I would definitely say it's like, from my expectations, that maybe I was expecting too much, maybe I was expecting not enough, but I felt like it kind of was only like a decent game if you're a fan of Kill la Kill. If you're not, it's subpar. But if you are, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, do you have any other fighting games, or do you think we should probably call it a call here? Call it on the podcast here.
Not really. I mean, I kind of want to talk about like another topic, like fighting games. I kind of want to, like, how to put it,
What?
Let's see, what's a good topic to talk about?
Well, I should warn you, I only got like 20 minutes left, so, on my recording, and these do carry a lot of gigs in my, in my thumb drive.
Okay, well, yeah, you know, we can end it here for now.
Alright then. Ghost, Ethan, any final words on the topic of fighting games and what you think about them?
I think fighting games should be more relevant to the world, because sometimes we need more fighting games and there's not enough out there for us, you know?
Fair enough.
And plus, I kind of want to like someday, like, well, like, I'm gonna get a PS4 soon, so I'm gonna get a chance to play all these fighting games that came out for the PS4, and then whatever comes out next year, you know.
All right, Ethan. Any final words?
Final words about fighting games?
Or I guess your opinion on them. Like
opinion? They're all right to me. I can't do things like that. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't do anything like those people that play fighting games.
Well, all right
me,
then.
in general, I'm just a spammer.
Well,
sometimes it works, you know.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Your Leroy Jenkins style of approaching in things in games helps at times. Other times it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right then. That'll be it for this podcast. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and we will. Ow!
My bad.
All right.
I know how to end. Wait, I know how to end this podcast.
Stop it! Damn it!
No, we must end it.
No, you bastard! No!
Sayonara, dude.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you bastard! All right then. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Yeah. All right.
Adios.